Shares of Nvidia relatively flat this morning. The stock recently snapped its hot streak, touching overbought territory for the first time since July earlier this week. Joining us now with more, we've got Yahoo Finance's Blikre standing by. Hey, Jared.
Hey, Brad, let's take a look at Nvidia stock today. As you said, a little bit of a downturn here, but over the last 3 months, it's been trading sideways, and we can see after it reached the bottom end of this trading range, 390 down there, 10 days in a row was it up, and then it stopped, not coincidentally, right by where it was heading on its earnings day, its last earnings day. That was its record high, 499 and change, and it sold off there. So if you take a look at a 6-month, you can see the consolidation pattern here, and even better on a 1 year, it's just been camping out at these highs in a trading range, and when we have earnings next week, next Tuesday, should it be able to punch through this, who knows how far it will go. You can see over the last year up 200%, the number one stock in the US, at least as far as the large caps are concerned. Here, let me do this. I have been talking about this 14-day rally here, and you can see in the semiconductor space, it's really been tech-centric. Nvidia up 20%, one, or if not the largest one here, biggest gainer. Lam Research also up about 20%, AMD a little bit more, 23%. But let me just put a chart up of the last 5 years, and we can see what happened over the pandemic. Pretty impressive, right? You can see after the high in 2021, retreated a bit. A lot of stocks had a difficult time last year, but it's been off to the races ever since. Now, let me just generalize and show you what's been happening with US tech versus China tech. This is also over 5 years. China here, and I'm using a Crane Shares China Net KWEB ETF here as a proxy. You can see that peaked in early 2021, while as US tech, where I'm using the QQQs here, peaked later in the year. But while the KWEB actually took a huge decline there, still down something like 70%, 60%, don't quote me on that, American tech, US tech was able to find its footing. And only today we got a record high in XLK. That is a large cap tech ETF. So let me just go back to Nvidia here. I do have an earnings preview for next Tuesday. A couple of notes here from Bloomberg Intelligence. One of the things influencing the stock is the China curbs. There's $5 billion at risk in 2024. But one thing that Bloomberg is noting is Nvidia has the ability to quickly design new China-specific products combined with high demand in the rest of the world, and this is going to mute, perhaps, the impact of the most recent U.S.-China restrictions on its 224 top line. So what this means is they are able to get around the restrictions in a legal way and produce new chips, and that nimbleness is allowing them to adjust, whereas other competitors haven't. And I'll just tell you this, we were talking about, I'm going to do a deep dive on Alibaba. Baba has foregone spinning off its cloud division here because of these very curbs. So it's not only affecting US companies, but companies abroad. But bottom line, Nvidia has been flying high, and it is poised to finally break out of this trading range it's been in for a few months. Just need that catalyst.